Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be discussing a very important topic, and that is succession. So without further ado, let's jump right into this video. Now, a lot of persons in the game has been asking me what is succession and is it worth it as a new player. Now, succession is basically using a older equipment as a sacrifice for a newer equipment. Okay, that's basically it. So the main difference here is that you're gonna lose -4 levels. Okay, so if you had a +20 accessory of a older equipment, once you succession, you will get like a +16. If you had a +16 of a older equipment, you're gonna get a +11. If you had a +11 before, you will get a +7. Okay. Now, keep in mind, you do need to have the new accessory at base stage in order to use the succession tab. You should also not have any augmentation done on this accessory, so keep that in mind. Also, if you have any guild stones to equip, remove them from your accessory in order to use the succession, okay? So with that out of the way, let's talk about the weapon as a new player, okay? Now, as a new player, you're doing soul boost, you got the upsurge weapon, you're getting some materials to upgrade your upsurge weapon, then you get the true upsurge weapon, and you're getting all of these materials. That is good, but keep in mind that the soul boost will only get you to that point, okay? Once you reach that point, you will have to upgrade by yourself from there. Now, the thing is with this game is that it has some traps, okay? And what do I mean by traps? Now, there's traps in the game because certain accessories are way easier to upgrade than others, okay? Now, keep in mind the Oculus accessories from a couple months ago. Those accessories are way harder to upgrade than the current accessories that we have now, which is the Blood Knight accessory and the Stormtide accessory. Also, we do have the battalion weapon, which is way easier to upgrade than the upsurge or the true upsurge weapon. Now, in order for the succession system to work for you, you need to have a ton of the old materials, because old materials or old equipment is the items that you use for succession, okay? Now, this is where the end gamers or the older players beat out the new players, okay? As a older player, you done this content when this content was the main thing in the game. So yeah, you have like 1,000 upsurge SN sitting on right now, maybe 500, who knows? But as a new player, you have nothing, okay? And what you have to do is you have to buy those expensive trade-off that they have in the Dragon Express. And if you know this game very well, most of those exchange in the Dragon Express is a ripoff. So to further explain what I'm talking about, I'm just going to be showing you a clipping of someone upgrading their battalion from a 0 to wherever, okay? Now, if you do have like 400 battalion steel, that is basically a +11 battalion weapon, which is equivalent to a +15 true upsurge weapon, okay? So let's take a look at this table, and this is the true upsurge weapon, and you can see the upgrade cost, and you can see the success rate. So you can see for level 1, it is 100%, level 2, 80%, 3, 75%, 4, 70%, 5, 60%, and you can see the success rate go down when the level goes up, okay? Now, if you take a look at +11, you can see that that chance is like 10%, okay? So then you're gonna start failing a lot and you're gonna start losing materials. And this is why I say it makes no sense to upgrade the older weapon if you're not getting much materials for it. And then you're gonna have to endure more fails in order to reach a threshold to do a succession. So let's say you go to a +11 true upsurge weapon, okay? Now that is equivalent to a +7 battalion weapon. Now to get from battalion 1 to 7, that is basically one tap all the way. Okay, so you're not gonna lose materials, and then you're getting more materials for battalion anyway, so it doesn't make any sense to upgrade the true upsurge weapon. So let me show you the battalion chart, okay? So now we're looking at the comparison between the two charts. Now on your left is the true upsurge weapon, on your right is the battalion weapon, and as you can see, the battalion weapon does have a higher succession rate compared to the true upsurge weapon. For example, if you look at the battalion weapon from a +14 to a +15, that is 10%. success chance, okay? Now on the upsurge weapon, you're gonna be having 10% on a plus 10 to 11, okay? So you can see the big difference there on the weapon upgrade. So the question again is, why waste materials on the true upsurge weapon if the chance is way lower and you don't have the materials in abundance to actually do the upgrades? That is why I say do the battalion weapon, because you're getting a lot of those materials right now and it's way easier to upgrade and you don't have to do any succession. Keep in mind that succession does have a cost. Now I'm just going to be showing you that clip I mentioned earlier so you can see for yourself how easy it is to upgrade a battalion weapon, okay? Then we continue the discussion.
Yeah. So this one is 21 attempts and this one is 29. Alright, so ready? Alright. Italian Greatsword, Ikaze. Alright, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, some sweet HP, 7, there it is, 8, I wasn't paying attention. Oh, never mind. Yeah, so 20 each. I have 220 something left. So it's saying 8 attempts now. Alright, so the premium transformation stones is what was keeping the attempts down. But anyway, here we go. So 9, 10, 'Wow. So that was 5 fails on 10 to 11, right?
Okay. Now, as you can see, he had like 5 fails at plus 10 to 11, and this was at 30% success rate, okay? Now, that is basically from plus 7 to 8 upsurge weapon. That is the same success rate. So you can see we're going to start having issues, and that is around 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11 upsurge weapon, or true upsurge weapon. So yeah, that is where you're going to experience a lot of issues. Keep in mind, you don't have the materials. Now, a lot of persons might be saying, okay, it's really hard to get the battalion weapon and I don't have anything to upgrade now weapon-wise, so why not just upgrade my current weapon in the meantime? Well, let's say you have a plus 7 true upsurge weapon or a plus 12 upsurge weapon and you do get a battalion weapon drop. What are you going to do? Are you going to push that weapon to a plus 16? Now, let me show you something, okay? If you do have a upsurge weapon, pushing that to a plus 16 and then using the succession, you're going to be looking at a ton of premium transformation stone just to use the succession. And when you get to true upsurge weapon, then you have to upgrade that a bit more and then pay a bunch of transformation stone or premium transformation stone to get that to battalion weapon. And all of that you're doing basically carries you all the way back to a plus 7 battalion weapon. And again, that is a one tap from 0 to 7 if you just do it from base stage. So that is why I say just upgrade your weapon with the soul boost materials that they give you for free, or just wait for a weapon drop or wait until you have enough fragments, okay, to buy the weapon box from the merchant in Motion Tower. Now you might be saying, okay, it's really unfair for endgamers alone to benefit from the succession tab. Well, new players can benefit from the succession tab, but the only way you can benefit is if you start from the current gear. So if you come into the game and you're getting mostly Blood Knight materials, start upgrading your Blood Knight from scratch. By the time a new accessory should come out, you should be at plus 12, 13, and ready to use the succession yourself. Now, believe it or not, there's a lot of players in the game who have like a plus 14, 15, or even 16 battalion weapon who started to upgrade their battalion from scratch. See, it is not impossible. So, yeah, that is basically it for the weapon. Now, what I did with my weapon is that I had a upsurge plus 20, and what I did was to use the succession to go to true upsurge weapon at a plus 16. The succession cost was like 70 premium transformation stones and some materials, so it is costly. And then from a plus 16 I went to like a plus 12 or 11, I'm not sure, on the battalion weapon, and it cost me like 20 more premium transformation stones and some materials. So the main benefit of succession is that you're saving back on some of your materials. So for me, I saved back on like 400, 300 battalion steel, but then again my RNG was pretty bad. So I am sitting at plus 15 battalion weapon right now. But for most people who started from the base stage, they're sitting at plus 30. Now, if my RNG was pretty good, I would be at like plus 16, 17, somewhere there. But then again, I'm not complaining. So I just wanted to touch on this topic real quick, and that is basically the succession of accessories or Oculus accessories in general. Okay, so as you know, the Soul Boost is giving out a ton of Oculus accessories, and they did change the upgrade cost to shimmering skills. Now again, it is basically the same concept. If you don't have an abundance of shimmering scale, then it is not for you. Just upgrade these to a plus 6 and just leave them there and go farm the current accessories in the game that you're getting more materials for. If you look in your inventory right now as a new player, you have more of the Blood Knight upgrade materials compared to all the other upgrade materials in the game for other accessories. So you might be wondering, okay, so who's actually benefiting from the Oculus change? Now, persons who are benefiting from the Oculus change are obviously the persons that were struggling with getting their accessories from the Yeti dungeon or the SKYSONG dungeon. So those persons are sitting at plus 11 Oculus. They can choose to use the succession, but with the cost change, they can push their Oculus to plus 16 if it's possible, because it is going to be costly, okay? And then again, Oculus succession rate is really low compared to others, and then it will cost you a ton of shimmering scale. Like now it looks innocent now because you're at like a plus 5, 6, 7 Oculus, but once you hit to that plus 11 or plus 12 somewhere there, then you're going to start to see this big amount of shimmering scale needed. So then again, it's not worth it, okay? Now, last but not least, a lot of new players, they tend to use the psyches that the Soul Boost gives them on the older accessories, and then they force themselves to use the succession to keep these stats, okay? Now, as a new player, you want to keep these psyches and wait until you have the endgame weapon, the endgame necklace, glove, ring, belt, and all that to use these on, because then you don't have to worry about succession, okay? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more content like this, like, share, and subscribe, and goodbye.